Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Today's project is a little bit of an interesting one. It's why do fishing reels fail, and where does it make sense or does it make sense to repair the reel? So I was recently at a yard sale, and this reel was there. And the first thing you want to do at a yard sale or a flea market or any of those is give the reel a thorough test and see if you can determine if everything is there and working. So this is a Swedish-made reel. It's the Cardinal, the Zebco Cardinal. I think it's the 4. It's missing its badge. That's one of the things you would want to note. And of the, if you're looking at collectability, or if you're looking at fishing it, or if you're looking at just giving it a second chance, which is most of the stuff that I do, just trying to get them back out there in service, the first thing you want to do is note what is the differences between collectible and usable. And the missing badge, well, you lose points for that. This one's been around the block. It's been fishing an awful lot. You can tell there's significant paint wear on here, on the rims of the rotor, on the back of the body, on the mounts for the wheel stand. And so this is not, to me, this is not a collectible reel, and you wouldn't buy it to restore it in this condition. You would want to make sure that you can just make sure it's working and make sure that it can go fishing again. So you want to test a couple of things. Is the reel turning? Well, the reel is turning, but there's an interesting little knock going on here. It doesn't appear that the oscillation is working on this, and actually that's a weak point in these Cardinal reels, is that oscillation system. So we'll open this up in a moment. We'll show you what's going on inside. Hopefully I can determine what's going on inside. So test it. It seems like the gearing is working, but something's not working in the transmission of the power of the gear that's turning the rotor, that also should be moving the gear, the oscillation gear up and down. Actually, there's an arm, not a gear. And we'll see what's going on in there, and maybe if we determine if there's parts available or not. Check the drag. In this case, that's very loose. This has a unique drag. This has an exterior drag from the outside. It kind of puts pressure on the axle shaft by turning it, and you can see on the case here it says more, turn it this way, plus, minus here. Now let's check it. Well, yeah, the drag is working fine. That's a plus. So we've got a reel that's turning. We've got a drag that's working. Here's an override on your anti-reverse. Make sure that the override is working. But we've still got that pop-top going on there. Something's going on underneath. So when you obviously can't do that at a yard sale, but what you can do is have a conversation with the seller. If you're interested in the reel, have a conversation with the seller and mention to them that it's not working properly, and that you would expect a discount for that. And depending on whether you are one that's going to fix the reel, or maybe you're just going to use the reel for parts, know that you probably have an issue here. And you could do your homework if you wanted to fix the reel if you didn't have the parts. Most people don't. You can do your homework, jump on eBay or something, see if that oscillation system is available in that. Most of the time the seller will not allow you to take the case off, and in this case the case, let's use case a few more times. The screw holding in the side plate is a single screw. They may allow you to take that off and get an inside look. Maybe they won't. But you should have a conversation with that. One more thing I want to check before we go downstairs there is the bail working. The bail is working very slow. Well, you know what the answer to that is? We can fix that one right now. You're not going to do that at a yard sale, but just take some penetrating oil. This is just a matter that this bail has been sitting a long time. Just put some penetrating oil on there. Work it in a couple of times. Let's check the bail now. What a surprise, huh? Just flips right over, right? And with a little more use, it'll even flip better. All right, so before I go underneath here, remove the side plate, I want to encourage everybody to subscribe to my channel, particularly if you're interested in the art of reel repair, if you like to see how problems are diagnosed, what the solutions to those problems are, and how to get these reels in your reel, give it a second chance. Well, then the subscription is best, and if you do subscribe, please hit that notification button. That way you'll see all of the reels that I'm working on. You'll get to choose which ones you want to view. I work on spinning reels, I work on ocean reels, I work on ultralights and freshwater, just about everything. And there's reels in there that if they're interested to you, you'll get the first chance to see it because you'll be notified that a video has been posted. All right, there's a single screw that holds this on. Let's take a look underneath now. Well, our arm, that's the transition point for the axle shaft, is off. Now that's interesting. I'm going to bet, possibly, it's a bet, but possibly somebody was working on this reel and just didn't put it back together. There should be a stud on this block down here. Let's take a, there it is. There's a stud on this block that this goes over, and I don't think there's an attachment on the top of it. There's a little stud above it, but I don't think that gets attached. I think that's held in by the strength of that main gear. Let's bring this down a little bit and we'll see. Yeah, so you can see now that it would match up, but if it's not on that stud, well, it's just going to kick it over to the side, which is kind of what happened here. Well, let's see if we can make a quick fix on this one. So I didn't tell anybody. I only paid $5 for this reel, and if I don't need parts, well, this one's going to get a second chance. What I've done is I've loosened the handle and I've pushed the handle in. That pushes the main gear up. You can see it here. You can remove the main gear completely, and I will do that when I service this reel, but right now I just want to see if that's the solution to the issue that we have here. Okay, well, we've reinstalled this. We've tightened down the main gear. Let's give it a try, see what's going on here. Well, that block is moving. So I just noticed it's tilting to the side, and all I have left now is that high point on the stud. That's obviously how that threw it off to begin with. So I don't know enough about this reel at the moment. I don't know, for example, if that's normal. I don't know if there's a little clip that belongs on top of this, or some other way that that's held in tight. I don't believe that it can just be on the pressure of the main gear, because this has got a collapsible handle. And, well, if you wanted to collapse the handle, you would take the tension off that main gear. That would loosen this and cause that to throw. I don't think it's in the slot here. There's a slot on this reel here that might align with that little stud to keep it in place, but that doesn't seem to be the type of slot that I would expect to see. I would expect to see a straight line slot where that could ride. So I got a little bit more work to do on the reel, but hopefully you've learned a little bit about looking at a reel from a purchase standpoint and understanding a couple of things that are key in terms of determining the value. The first is, of course, condition. In this case, we saw this reel's got some condition issues, got a lot of lost paint and the like, lost its sticker and so on. The second is, does the reel work? Well, most of the features on this reel did work. We saw that the rotor turns, the gears worked nicely, but we do know that there was an issue with the oscillation of the axle. It's not going up and down correctly. We opened it up. You wouldn't be able to do that at a yard sale, but when we opened it up, we did see that there's something going on with that crosswind on the axle below. That little block that takes the crosswind arm and holds it there. So we got a little bit of work to try and figure out what that's all about. But all of that resulted in a purchase that I made for $5. And that's on the assumption that maybe I can get the parts, and if not, maybe somebody needs the parts from this reel in order to give this one a second chance, or there's a second chance. So I hope you've enjoyed that. To everybody who's first responder and essential personnel, thank you for all it is that you do. To anybody who has a question on this reel or any reel in particular, please leave it in the comments section. I will be happy to try and give you an answer to your question. Doesn't have to be on this reel, it can be on any reel. Maybe you're working on one and you're stuck. Maybe I can help you get unstuck. And if I don't know the answer, what I'll try and do is point you in the direction of somebody who does know the answer to whatever question it is that you're asking. To everybody, please stay safe, stay well, and stay watching. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.